Introducing the reigning, defending, Inside Fighting host, Robby Sid Clark.
Thank you for coming on Inside Fighting. This is Phil Hawes. Obviously, I know if you just got finished over a fight, so we'll get into that as well. But listen, the thing I wanted to ask you is, how did you come up with your name? For people who don't know, Megatron. Where did that nickname come from?
It was given to me. My friend, he said I just transformed from being like a nice, friendly guy. Like right now I'm here, and then next second if we're sparring or training or fighting, you know what I mean? I try to rip your head off, you know? So that's where it came from. So I just transformed, you know, to something different.
And I gotta ask, I know it came up a little bit. So the blonde hair, is that a little bit of respect or homage to Randleman, or is that just something that you came up with now, or what inspired that?
Yeah. I actually was gonna post that yesterday, like where the blonde hair came from. And Kevin Randleman is definitely my blonde hair inspo. You know, he's my inspiration for it, and just my hats off to him and what he's done for the sport. And you know, he was a great athlete and great ambassador of the sport, I think.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I mean, you're obviously a physical specimen in yourself, right? And Kevin Randleman was, you know, his vertical and some of the things he would do, and you'd see him jumping in the octagon and then pride. It was unbelievable. And he was like, what is your walk around weight?
My walk around weight, 210, 210, or I try not to get above 215, but usually the time is like 10. Yeah.
Yeah, he was he was heavier at heavyweight at times, but you guys are about the same weight too as well too. So no, that was a lot of fun. I'm sure, you know, for the old school fans, it brought back a lot of memories seeing you get in there, right? It's the first thing people think of, right? So that was cool.
He was a monster.
Yeah. So tell us about, one of the things I wanted to ask you about is, you know, I know you've had kind of a quick rise. I mean, you've obviously been experienced and an athlete your whole life, but, you know, you haven't been fighting for a very long time, especially leading up to the first Contender series. And I know, like, your story is so cool because, you know, you had a little bit of adversity, and then you came back. You've been on, like a 7-fight win streak now. And I wanted to know, like, from that 2017, your first entry into the Contender series, what did you learn after you know, that was your last loss? You haven't lost since. But what did you learn from that to now, and what did that mean for you getting into the UFC after first suffering adversity and then being able to get the call back?
I really had to do a lot of self-discovery and try to figure out what went wrong in the fight, and not just brush it off like, oh, he caught me, or oh, that'll never happen again. I really had to dig deep, and I have a mentor, Dorian Price, and I went to Thailand and lived there for a few months and really tried to understand striking and understand the other aspects of combat sports as opposed to just wrestling or, you know, doing MMA. And then I got my boxing on point, you know, my boxing coach. So there's a combination of things, you know, that I needed to do to get where I'm at right now. And without that loss, I wouldn't have done it. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll be flash in the pan. I'll get to the UFC, then I'll lose a couple fights, win a couple fights, and be that guy, you know, 50-50 fighter. But now, since the adversity, and it really made me step back and figure out what I need to do in my game to become the best and where I'm at right now. So without that loss, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, you know. And I'm about to be a world champion soon, so I'm blessed to have that loss in my life.
No, I believe it, man. And for those who know the sport, like, again, you'd only been, because you got right into fighting, you were only really training mixed martial arts for what, 3 or 4 years at that point?
Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 years at that point. Yeah. And I had, like, before that fight, I had a year layoff. You know what I mean? And, like, everyone knows, like, experience is so important. Definitely when you're young in your career, the more times you can make that walk, the better your outcomes are usually. So coming off a year of inactivity and just a combination of things, you know, there's a recipe for disaster, but I'm turning into something beautiful right now. Like you said, it's my story, and it's coming out really well.
Well, I think so. And I mean, your last fight, again, that, you know, your experience really showed through there because, you know, you're a stand-up fighter for the most part, or people thought, right? And then you went in there and you had, I don't want to say adversity, but it was a striking battle in the first round. And then you were able to dominate the rest of the fight by, you know, kind of, taking him to the ground, wrestling him and controlling him as well, too. But even when you got hit, you seemed to be, and, you know, I can't speak for the earlier self or if that would have changed it, but it seemed like that experience had a big role to play where it's like, hey, you know what, I can take this anywhere. And so how did you feel about your last performance?
Yeah, I felt pretty pretty impressed. You know, I felt like I battled through some adversity and I answered a few more questions that people still tend to have, like, can he really go 3 rounds or this and that, you know, things like that. So I think I answered some more questions to myself and to my opposition, you know. So yeah, 3 rounds steady, 3rd round looking great. Ground and pound was on point, you know, nonstop. I know Kyle Dawkins was saying that he was going to outlast me and do this and that and finish me in the 2nd, but you know, we stood on top and got our hand raised with a unanimous decision. So I'm impressed. I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm doing what I believe I'm known to do and I can do.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like you answered a lot more questions, especially for the fighters or the hardcore people who really know the sport, right? Because it's like, well, what are you going to do when adversity comes, or can you wrestle, right? That's strong you. And so, yeah, that proved a lot, because you've been finishing everybody. You know, you've had 2 decisions, nine finishes, and 11 wins, right? And you're clearly a finisher, so we know you can do that. So it was impressive to see. Now, I wanted to ask you. You obviously, there's been some fighters that have not been so. You've been very active during the pandemic. Obviously, Florida's been, you know, good, and they're open up now, but it happened for a while. But what have you? Has that been easy for you to train during the pandemic, and have you liked being really active during this time?
So that's the reason I'm actually moved down to Florida once the pandemic happened, because all the gyms started closing in Jersey. I'm originally from Jersey. I was living in Jersey training at Tiger Showman's part-time. So once the gym started closing and everything, I just packed up my car and just moved down to Sanford MMA and made the transition. And yeah, so with the pandemic and the UFC, they've been awesome with me and keeping me active, keeping me busy, you know, double booking me for fights, which is awesome, you know. It just shows a testament to how much they believe in me and my skill level. So yeah, man, like I say, I mean, it exists, but COVID doesn't really have effect out here in Florida, so it's nice.
Yeah, it seems to be. No, for sure. They're like they've been open, and Texas is there too now. But and the other part is, like you said, you traveled. You were in New Jersey. You know, we're in Canada. It's still full lockdown over here. But you went from Jersey to Florida. You fought in Abu Dhabi. I have to ask, how was that experience? Because you've been traveling, even though there's a pandemic. So.
Yeah, Abu Dhabi was crazy. I'm like I said before, I'm super blessed to have that experience to fight on Fight Island. You know, I don't know if we'll be going back soon or ever. You know, but Abu Dhabi was really cool. They treated us really well. They put us in like a bubble, but we still. I actually went twice, which is kind of cool. They put us in a bubble, and you know, it's like it was kind of like some Mortal Kombat stuff. You know, it was this cool experience. So I'm happy and blessed, fortunate.
So speaking of Mortal, I'm assuming did you see the movie? And if so, what were your thoughts on the new Mortal Kombat, since you brought it up?
Come on, bro. Of course I've seen that movie. It was pretty cool. I mean, I seen it when it first came out, so I got to kind of remember it. But yeah, it was cool for sure. What else was there? Well, no, it was cool. It was all around cool. I liked it. It was cool. I mean, for what you can do, I think the movie was like an hour and a half or so. You know what I mean? There's so much. Each guy have so like the storyline is the only way you could do in an hour and a half, so to keep people's attention. But I thought they did good for the hour and a half they had. So what'd you think?
Yeah, I liked it too. I think the same, right? Like, I played the video games growing up, and it's like, you know, you'll play one character for more than an hour and a half. So like you said, it's tough to get into everything and what they're doing, right? So I see that as the same thing. And you can't make it like a Lord of the Rings. There's too much action in the game itself, right? It's just fighting. So no, I think that's a good way to interpret it. I liked it. I was impressed. It wasn't. Sometimes they go a little too cheesy with things like that, and I think they did it pretty well, considering what they were working with.
Yeah.
So yeah. So okay, you went to Abu Dhabi, Dubai. I mean, that's like a landmark place. Is there anywhere you want to go, Brazil, or anything that you've not fought yet that you'd be like, man, I'd like to fight here? Or are you more of a hometown fighter? Do you like to fight, you know, close to home? What place you'd like to go?
Man, actually, in my whole career, I'm from Jersey. I never fought in Jersey. You know what I mean? Like I always say, wherever they put the octagon, where they put the cage, that's my home, and I always make it my home. So I've been blessed to be in India, Thailand, Slovenia, tons of places. A place that I would want to go, of course, is Brazil. You know, where jiu-jitsu originated and things like that. And Brazil would be cool. London, of course. You know, just wherever. You know, I just like to travel But Brazil, we got to go to Brazil. We got to go to Brazil.
So you're the type of fight, you like those experiences then? Like I know a lot of people just zone in and they're like, no, I'm here for the fight and that's it. And are right out afterwards. You kind of like to experience the different sites and enjoy traveling then, right?
Yeah, of course. So for the fight week, I'm always traveling and getting out of the hotel when there was like no restrictions or whatever. Just chilling out and seeing what the city has to offer. So, and exactly after you get the win, maybe check out a few girls. You know how it is. Just living.
Yeah, I'm married now, so I don't know anymore. But yeah, I do know what you mean. No, but the no, it's all good. Yeah. So like speaking of being active, you got Darwin Wynn that they've already matched you up again. I went on Sherdog and I was like, oh my god, they've already matched you up again. Is that officially signed?
Yeah, that's officially signed. So what happened was I was signed the fight Darwin Wynn before the Dawkins fight, but they brought the Dawkins fight as a short notice. So that was like a 3-week camp or something like that, something short. But yeah, just like I said, that's a testament to what the UFC believes I can do, double booking me. I don't think any name some other fighters that's done that on the roster. I don't think there's very many.
No, like that's the one thing I know. You've been so active, right? I mean, and healthy too. The big thing is not being injured. So you've been fresh, no injuries. You're feeling good.
Yeah, always good, always good. I'm definitely blessed, fortunate to have a healthy body, strong.
Yeah. Now, how do you see that fight going? Obviously, I mean, he's got amazing wrestling credentials. He's done good. Had some issues missing weight, of course. Are you at all concerned about that? And how do you see the fight going?
I see it going in my favor, like always. He's a tough guy. He's a tough guy, but I feel like I can get him out of there. I'm just gonna do what I do and impose my will. I know he's cocky. I know he's tough, but man, I got so much momentum going right now, and I believe in myself and my skills so much. I don't see anyone beating me. Even if I wanted to lose, I don't see anybody beating me.
So you think you're gonna test him at his own game? He's got some heavy hands too, right? But do you think you're gonna want to test his wrestling skills, or you think you're gonna dominate this in the stand-up, or what's your thoughts on that?
I think I'm gonna dominate all the way around. This isn't a wrestling match. You know what I mean? I know he has high wrestling credentials, but we're not wrestling. We're fighting, and I believe I'm the better fighter.
No, that's great, man. And so a few questions here. I know you said you walk around at about 210, 215. Any of that during training camp, and what do you night? I wish they did this. Is like fight nights. They weigh the fighters as well too. What do you weigh on fight night typically?
Man, I get up to, like you said, I get up to 215, 210, like back to my normal weight and everything. So yeah, so I'm going in there strong and heavy. Like I feel good. I wouldn't want to fight me.
Yeah, neither. Yeah, that's amazing. No, that's great, man. Okay, cool. I got some fun questions I wanted to do. So I wanted to find what is your favorite thing right now to train in the gym, and what is the thing that you hate the most in the gym? Whether it's a tendency of a sparring partner or just a technique that you hate to train. Favorite thing and worst thing.
My favorite, man. This is why I love MMA. There's so many aspects to train. I mean, it's really hard to just pinpoint one, because one day I fall in love with jiu-jitsu, then one day I fall in love with boxing. But if I had to pick one, I think, man, I still love wrestling. That's my first girlfriend, you know what I mean? I started when I was in high school, a little late, but that's my baby. So I love wrestling. Just the adversity you face in wrestling, in the fatigue, and you got the mind games, you got to battle. My least favorite would be, damn, I don't even know. I just love the game so much. I don't think I have a least favorite, because like, even if I'm like, oh shit, I gotta do this conditioning workout, but it's just a blessing to be able to do the conditioning workout. You know what I mean? To be in the position I'm in. It's just my outlook is a little different than most people. Like I try not to dread things. Like, say if it's like we got 6 a.m. I do a lot of 6 a.m. workouts. Like it's a privilege to do the 6 a.m. workout. So I don't really say I dread anything. In the sport, because I value the sport. I appreciate my sport, so I don't dread anything.
Oh, it's a champion. No, it's good. It's a championship mindset right there, right? So you're not hating anything. You're going to do everything to the maximum of your ability, right? So that's a championship mindset. So what is it? Then actually, let me ask you that. What is your training set? How many 2-3 times a day? What is your training schedule like right now?
It depends on the day, really. I try to listen to my body, and I try to listen to my skill, where I need to put this, where I feel like I'm lacking on this. So I try not to have a set schedule, but of course, you got to work on the times of the gyms and everything. So a busy day would be like Monday to be 6 a.m. workout, 10 a.m. we have grappling, and then 2 a.m. 10 a.m. we have grappling, then 2 p.m. I have boxing, and then at 7:30 I'll do jiu-jitsu. So that's like a four session day. But man, I just love it, and I just love getting better. So today is lighter. So today I got we did wrestling this morning, then I got boxing at 2, then I got yoga at like 6:30, you know what I mean? So, that's 3 sessions right there. But man, I just stay busy. I love this, you know what I mean? And I know there's a lot of guys who I know there's a lot of guys who I'm gonna have to face, and I'm gonna have to be ready for it. And I'm gonna be there.
So 3 sessions is a light day for Phil.
Yeah, cause man. I mean, I just love it, and I love the work. You know what I mean?
No, that's incredible, man. Like 3, 4, like you each ever get that like two times a day, 3 times a day. I saw an interview where Andre was saying that he was still doing like 3 workouts a day at his age, which was incredible, because I think that's crazy. That's you're putting in more hours than most people, right? So that's impressive.
And the proof is in the pudding, That's why I'm having the success I'm having, and also that it's also you gotta limit your outside distractions. Like if I'm working out 4 times a day, I can't go hang out with you. I can't hang out with you on the beach. You know what I mean? I gotta go home, rest, recover. Then I'm back to training. It's kind of like a machine. I gotta give up the happy things in life. Like some people enjoy. But I mean, it's part of the job. That's why I'm gonna be a champion.
As I said, I don't doubt it. Now, what you mentioned on a good thing there in recovery. What is if you had a diet throughout the day, can you explain what a normal eating day is like? What your meal plan is for a normal day? Like today, what are you eating?
So my meal, I have a meal prep guy, Sidewalk Chef. He prepares all my meals like that. So that's one stress I don't have to worry about.
But do you mind saying like what it is you ate? Like what did you have for breakfast? What are you going to have for lunch, roughly, just to give an idea? Because someone who looks like you, everybody would want to look like you. So if you give some tips out there to people looking to try and get half of that, right?
I got you. So it depends on that training session for the day. So like today we have wrestling. So all I had was like a protein shake and some coffee. You know what I mean? Try to run on light fumes. Nothing too heavy. It depends on the day, but yeah, mostly for the mornings, I always just have a protein shake and some coffee. And then after that, then we'll have, I just try to stay light. I try to stay light during the day. You know what I mean? Maybe limit my carbs so it doesn't slow down my digestive system and just things like, but you need carbs, you can't just go keto, training the way I do. But, I mean, you probably could, but I try not to. But if you're trying to lose weight, I stay away from sugary drinks like that, and just the basic stuff. Gallon a day of water. What else is there? Yeah, I'm not sure. That part I leave to my nutritionist. I'm just like, hey, whatever, just make it healthy. You know what I mean? Give me some color, give me a lot of vegetables, give me some greens, give me my lean protein and my little bit of carbs. Like sweet potatoes and things like that.
Nice, makes sense. So, okay, we'll get to the fun one. After a win, what is your favorite cheat meal? What are you eating?
Oh man, anything and everything in sight, man. It depends. Always after a fight, I always know I'm gonna go to this one spot. After each fight, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to this spot. I always look on Instagram, like I look up where the fight's gonna be, and I'm like, okay, after the fight, I'm going to that spot, and I always do it. So my last one, I knew I was gonna come back to Florida, and I knew I was gonna go to this barbecue spot that I live by.
Amazing. And do you have any cheat days at all when you're in training camp? Like now you're already booked for another fight. Are you gonna have one? Do you have one cheat day a week where your nutritionist lets you kind of do what you want?
Yeah. So it'll probably be on mid Saturday. I'll probably grab something not on the healthier side. I'm not sure what it is yet. It just comes to me on that day. But yeah, man, I'm a big snacker. I like my Twizzlers and things like that, But just a sacrifice you got to do a part of the game.
Absolutely. And I know you got your meal waiting on there, so I got 2 other questions for you. The first one is going to be throw in how you see your next fight going. Is it a finish? Is it what do you think is going to happen there? If you had a prediction.
I'll finish him. I'm gonna finish him. Third round, I'm gonna finish him.
Third round finish. Okay, perfect. And TKO or?
I'm gonna finish him. I'm gonna break him down and I'm gonna finish him.
Very nice. And, Phil, when are you wearing the belt? When does Phil get a title fight? Is that 2022? When is he? What are you envisioning?
Man, I mean, there's crazy things that happen in the sport. You know, like I just think you have to be right. You have to be open to opportunities. Like Joe Soto, he had a title fight right pretty soon. I think it was like maybe the first or second fight of his career at UFC. Who else had some crazy? Who else had? There's people who got in there just like on the whim. You know, and I feel like I could be one of those guys to slide in there. You know, I do impressively against Deron Wynn. I'll get a ranked opponent, and I could slide in there. You know, I think it's wide open for me.
100%. I think you got to give yourself credit too, because Soto, you're right. You jumped in real quick, but you're beating guys, and you've been around, and like you're not losing. You lost one contender series fight. You haven't lost since. You're 7 straight wins. You win this, that's 8 in a row. I mean, obviously, you should be fighting for a top. You know, you could easily argue you should be fighting a top 5. You get past this one impressively for sure, and then you're only a couple fights away there, right? So I think, yeah, for sure you could slide in, but I mean, you're deserving at this point. You've really shown yourself, so you know what you're doing. So, Phil, I appreciate that, man. I'll let you get back inside. Thank you for taking the time out, and man, I'm looking forward to your next fight. Once this opens up, I'll be out there supporting you. So, thank you again, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate the love.
Cheers, brother. Take care.